Hello, and welcome to Course 7, Part 2. Since email has an important place in your modern marketing strategy, let's learn how to send the right email to the right person. Here are 4 best practices that together will help you succeed with email. When I think about the best practices to writing a great email, I use a simple formula. Determine who your audience is. Segment your contacts database to match that audience. Send the right content at the right time to that audience, and use it to nurture that lead into becoming a customer. The question we're trying to answer with these best practices is, who is getting your email and why? First up is determining your audience. Email is about cats. No, not the cute, furry kind that power the internet. I'm talking about this cold, hard, scientific fact. The right content, served to the right audience, delivered at the right time, equals success. Remember, modern marketing is all about this marriage of context and content. When you divide your contacts into smaller groups based on similarities, it lets you use context to make your content more relevant and engaging. So what do you segment by? You segment by your buyer personas. Buyer personas are so important to your modern marketing strategy. So it's no surprise that they've popped up yet again. But how does this foundational idea help you write better emails? Here's an example. Let's say I'm selling washing machines. My ideal customers are middle-aged homeowners who live in the suburbs. They're interested in energy efficient, but their pain point is the higher cost of efficient washing machines. They tend to compare options online before making big purchases, since they want to be confident in their decision to buy such a big ticket item. A clear definition of your buyer persona helps you define your audience. I have a crystal clear picture of who will be on the other side of this email send, reading my message. Now you have to consider another question. Where is your audience in the buyer's journey? Sending a great email to the right buyer persona at the wrong time can be a huge problem. Say, for example, our homeowners are still researching whether to even purchase a washing machine at all. Never mind what type. The old machine works just fine, so right now they're just looking to learn more, not necessarily make a purchase. If I start sending them emails for coupons, rebates, or offers to trade in their old machine, it would be extremely pushy and may cause the lead to unsubscribe. And when someone unsubscribes, you've essentially lost them for good. An email that is perfectly positioned for someone in the decision stage could be pretty jarring to someone who's not looking to buy anything right now. But an email with the right information that hits a prospect's inbox at just the right time, well, that could be a breath of fresh air. Use buyer personas and the buyer's journey to guide you in slicing and dicing your contacts into the right segments. See how those 2 ideas play together? They're a great foundation to an effective segmentation strategy. I can hear some of you saying, hold up. What's all this talk about segmentation? Do I really need to do more work beyond identifying my buyer persona? Do I need to segment more than where they are on their path to purchase? Don't worry. I don't expect your blind allegiance, so I came armed with a simple fact. Did you know that sending targeted content dramatically increases open rates and click-through rates? In fact, emails sent to segmented lists receive 62% more clicks than emails sent to non-segmented lists. We're talking about concrete improvements to your email sends. If there's one thing modern marketing businesses love, it's data. That's what this whole revolution is all about. Buckle up, because we're about to take a whirlwind tour through the different ways you can use data to improve your segmentation. You can segment people by geography using criteria such as IP address, time zone, area code, and address. You can use data about a person's company, such as its size, the nature of their business, business to business, business to consumer, nonprofit. The list goes on. You can also segment your leads by their role, seniority, what department they belong to, or their specific function within a department. If you use a CMS that has the ability to track a lead's behavior on your website, you can use that to gauge how interested leads are and what they're interested in. For example, you can use conversion events like downloading an ebook about Twitter, email opens, and page views. If you have marketing intelligence software, you can go one step further and actually incorporate information about your lead and their company into your segments. How many followers and fans do they have on Twitter or Facebook? What search terms do they use to find your website? These are just some examples of different ways to segment your contacts. And it doesn't mean you have to segment by one criteria or another. The real fun happens when you combine some of these elements to really address a persona. For example, you can target a lead who has a specific role in a specific industry by their location and how many times they've visited your website. Now, one of the main reasons you segment is to preserve the health of your contact database. Consider this: 25% of your email list will decay each year. By that logic, a list with 10,000 contacts will be reduced to just 5,625 viable contacts in 3 years. You also need to watch out for spam. Unfortunately, that's what email marketing is often associated with, due to bad practices like buying lists and emailing people who didn't opt in. This is not only annoying to people getting your unwanted emails, it actually decreases the value of your brand and can get you flagged for spam. That hurts your deliverability and credibility. You spend a ton of time building, cleaning, and nurturing a solid list of prospects, but that list is becoming less valuable by the second. As people change jobs, change emails, or hit the unsubscribe button, your list quickly loses its punch. That's why you need to supplement your email marketing with blog posts and content to make sure your list stays healthy and grows over time. Following the modern marketing methodology means your marketing is interconnected. How do you decide what type of content to send to your prospects and customers? Remember the equation: content plus context equals success. Here's a couple of quick suggestions on different types of content you might send and how it syncs up with the buyer's journey. In the awareness stage, keep your content easily consumable. Videos, blog posts, slide shares, free tools, and high-level guides are great at capturing interest and educating prospects, which helps move them further down the buyer's journey. In the consideration stage, you're answering the unasked questions that you anticipate are running through your lead's head. Some suggestions of content to email during this stage are webinars, case studies, frequently asked questions, product white papers, and third-party reviews. And how about the decision stage? This is the time to send those free trials, ROI reports, product demos, consultations, estimates, and quotes, depending on your industry. You want to be upfront with what you offer, and it's time to let the lead get up close and personal to your product. But how likely is someone to buy based on just one great email? Not very likely. It often takes a series of emails to build trust and earn business. That's where lead nurturing comes in. Lead nurturing is the process of building relationships with prospects with the goal of earning their business when they're ready. You can't force your leads to buy from you, but you also can't afford to lose a lead because their lack of readiness doesn't match your desire to sell. In fact, 73% of all business-to-business leads are not sales ready. This means there are perfectly good leads in your database that are not ready to buy yet. It's up to you as a marketer to send them a series of helpful and relevant content to earn their business. Anytime you write an email, I want you to ask yourself one question before you hit send. Would I be excited to read this if it showed up in my inbox? That's the golden rule. Email should add value, not ask for it. This is something I can't stress enough. Modern marketing is all about lovable marketing strategy. Leads engage with you because they want to. Sending content that is valuable to your intended recipient is going to make your company more valuable to them. A world-class email, above all, does not ask a lead for anything. It provides them with something of value. Before we dive into the details, I would like to suggest something simple. Emails that look bad and don't work aren't lovable. That's right, we need to talk about mobile. A massive 47% of all emails are opened on mobile devices. Why take all that time writing an email if it's going to look terrible for half of the people who read it? I want to provide some quick tips and tricks to ensure that every reader sees your email in all its proper responsive glory. First, use responsive templates. This will ensure your emails look sleek and well designed across multiple platforms: desktop, tablet, and yes, their phones. Next, bigger is better. Be aware that some people will be reading your emails on smaller screens. If you're using a CTA or a button, make sure there's plenty of surrounding space and it is big enough to tap with a finger. Also, don't forget to use clear and concise messaging. People are more and more inclined to scan your email, regardless of which device they read it on. Make it really easy for people to scan and comprehend your email. Lastly, avoid using tiny fonts. At a minimum, use a 12-point font. If you design your emails with those simple tips in mind, your readers will see a great email on whichever device they use. Let's get into the details of how to make your emails rock. I call it the 4-step guide to email perfection. Here's an overview. These best practices fall into several buckets: goal setting, personalization, optimization, engagement, and making sure everything in your email looks great. Best practice 1, defining a clear goal for your email. It's awfully hard to write a great email if you don't have a clear idea about why it's being sent. Admittedly, it can be hard to pick an appropriate goal for your email send. Let's do an exercise to make sure you're feeling comfortable with the process. Consider this question: which of these is an appropriate goal for an email send? You can definitely cross "stay top of mind" off your list of potential answers. Nobody ever got promoted for the way they stayed on top of everybody's mind last quarter. How would you measure it? How would you really know? You want to stay away from goals that are not actionable or quantifiable. Promote your company can go too. Why? Because it fails the golden rule of email. Remember, email should add value, not ask for it. Would you be excited and carve out time to read an email about how awesome another company was with no clear benefit to you? Increasing your click-through rate won't work as a goal. It's an empty metric. Who's to say that people didn't click on the email only to bounce right off the page on the other side? You should care about conversions, leads, actionable things that drive value for your business. Which leaves us with get people to register for a webinar. This is an example of a great starting goal for an email. It's a clear, actionable goal that you can quantify. Plus, you're either creating new leads or qualifying existing ones. This goes beyond clicks and opens. You need to consider what action you want your recipient to take. You want to get really specific here. So something like "stay top of mind" won't cut it. A couple examples of clear and effective email goals would be generating leads, collecting feedback, educating customers, and nurturing existing leads. Your second best practice is to personalize where appropriate. Just because your email is going out to 100, 1,000, or even 1,000,000 contacts doesn't mean it has to feel impersonal. You want to create the impression that you're speaking directly to your lead. You don't want them to feel like they're sending the same thing to hundreds or thousands of people. Address them personally so it feels like one-on-one conversation. Here are a couple tricks to give the email a contextual, personal feel. First, consider sending your email from a real person, not the name of your company. Why? Because people like doing business with other people. During several A/B tests we ran on over 50,000 recipients, we found that personalizing the sender's name and email address increased the open rate an average of 3%. Consider doing something like this. Our test showed that personalization works, but we've also found that using a person's name and a company name together as the sender works well too. You've just got to A/B test what works best for your particular company, brand, and industry, as well as what's ideal based on to whom you're sending emails. The LSN email autoresponder found in your marketing hub allows you to personalize your emails based on information you know about your prospects. You can personalize any contact property, first name, last name, email, company name. Whatever helps you better target your contact database, use it. Personalization can have a huge impact on your engagement, but don't listen to me. Check out some of these stats. Leads who are nurtured with targeted content produce a 20% increase in sales opportunities. 40% of consumers buy more from retailers who personalize the shopping experience across channels. Personalized emails improve click-through rate by 14% and conversion rates by 10%. Best practice 3. Focus on engagement. Remember that first best practice where we discuss having a clearly defined goal for your email send? Having that clear goal in mind allows you to optimize for engagement. This is why you send emails after all, right? You want people to read them and act on the information. So let's learn how you can optimize your emails so contacts actually take the desired action. Always keep this in mind when writing emails. Time is money, so get to the point. You need to be clear and compelling. Clear enough to understand and compelling enough that people will act. That goes for both email copy and your subject lines. You do not want to be misleading here. Tricking people into opening your emails is good for no one. A great way to be clear and compelling is to use actionable language. A question for you English majors in the crowd. What part of speech do I mean when I say actionable language? I'm talking about verbs. People have short attention spans. Ask yourself, how many emails have you opened, scanned for 2 seconds, and then closed? I know I've done it. This isn't the time for fluff. Use actionable language to grab attention and convince leads to complete an action. Use verbs in your call to action such as get, start, or reserve. You can also let your lead know that they can do by clicking your email's in-text CTAs or buttons. They can save time or generate more leads or increase efficiencies by X%. Here's another reality of email marketing. You only get so much real estate in an email. You want it to be short and sweet. This is especially important with the increase of mobile readers. You'll want to make use of every component of your email and use them all to achieve your goal by turning them into a call to action. Another way to increase engagement with your emails is to boost your reach. This can be as simple as allowing your recipients to share the content in your emails. Most email marketing tools allow you to enable social sharing buttons right in the editor. In addition, you can encourage sharing in the text of your email also. You might consider asking readers to forward the message to a colleague as well. My final reminder for engaging your readers is to remember the details. Remember, not everyone sees emails in the beautiful HTML versions you created. Make sure you clean up the plain text so it doesn't end up looking like... See all of those ridiculously long links and random sentences? Those are components of the email that got pulled into the main copy because there wasn't a separate area for it to exist in the email. Best practice 4, test and analyze. As is important to every stage in the modern marketing methodology, you want to be sure you test and analyze your emails. Here are some things that are worth measuring. Delivery rate. This will answer the question, did you even stand a chance at success? Is your email even getting to your contacts? If you dig in here, there are some specific metrics that will clue you into the health of your email list. Both hard and soft bounces are good indicators of the shape of your contact database. Lots of hard bounces means fake or out of service email addresses, while soft bounces means your email is making it into the inbox but getting caught in a spam filter. Open rate. Yes, it's nice to track the open rate, but note that this metric only tells you the effectiveness of your subject line, not your offer. Click rate. Simply put, this message will track people engaging with your emails. Remember that clicks aren't valuable just because someone clicked. It's what lies on the other side of the click that matters. Also, keep an eye on contact churn. These are people who unsubscribed after receiving an email. It's also useful to see what links people are clicking on. Are you doing a good job of driving people to click on the CTA that helps you achieve your goal? Or are people getting distracted? Check URL click popularity, unsubscribed link clicks, social shares, and the CTA click rate. Take a deep breath and let that all sink in. Just remember, defining the goal of your email, personalizing, focusing on driving engagement, and testing and analyzing your emails are all critical to your modern marketing success.